right. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Megan O'Neill, and I am the Assistant Program Manager here at the College of Pharmacy, and I get to lead this wonderful program, Pharmacy Scholars. So this upcoming summer will be my second summer leading the program. Last summer was my first, so Amber got to be a part of my first cohort of Pharmacy Scholars students, and I will have to say that her and all of her classmates were very patient with me. It was a learning process for the both of us. But I think we learned some really valuable information last summer about how to run the program to the best of our ability. And so you will benefit from that knowledge I collected during our last round of Pharmacy Scholars. Amber, do you want to introduce yourself really quick?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Amber Williams. I'm currently a senior chemistry major at Fisk University on the pre-pharmacy track, obviously, as I did the program. So I'm currently in the process of applying to pharmacy schools, and I did the program last summer. It was my second internship I ever had, and I really enjoyed it. And if you have like, any questions, feel free to ask them, comment them. I can even put my email in the chat if anybody wants that as well. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
All right. So we will go ahead and get started. And at any point, if you have any questions, please put that in the chat. And if you want to go ahead and either put that to hosts and panelists if you have a question, or to everyone, either one. So far, Amber, did you say you put your email in the chat?
Yeah, I can put my email in the chat as well.
You totally don't have to. I just want to make sure I can see what's in the chat.
Okay,
And so I did
okay.
see it. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing
So
anything.
you're
But yes,
fine.
if you adjust your settings and you can either talk to everyone, host and panelists, or the Q&A function is also on. So however you want to ask your question, and feel free to interject in the middle of the presentation, or of course, I will always make time for questions at the end. So first things first, this summer, the Pharmacy Scholars Program is going to be 5 weeks based on feedback we collected from students last summer. The majority just gave the feedback that it would be better if the program was 5 weeks as opposed to 4. So we will have the program run for 5 weeks this summer from June 16th to July 18th. And students will arrive that weekend before June 16th. So if you are admitted to the program, we will have you arrive either on June 14th or 15th, depending on where you're coming from. So what is the Pharmacy Scholars Program? It is a 5-week residential boot camp on the University of Michigan Central Campus in Ann Arbor. It prepares students to be confident in the interview process and first-year pharmacy courses. It introduces students to faculty, current students, and administrators, and exposes participants to a variety of career options and shadowing opportunities. So in Pharmacy Scholars, as a member of the program, you will receive one-on-one academic advising from our admissions office. You will learn from faculty, alumni, and student guest speakers. You will be mentored by current students, review coursework and topics relevant to pharmacy school, receive advice on writing a CV and a personal statement, attend admission and financial aid information sessions, as well as faculty and student-led workshops. So Amber, I would be curious to know what stood out to you from last summer? Did you have a favorite faculty or alumni guest speaker or a favorite workshop that you did?
So one of my favorites was definitely the one-on-one with Dean Nelson. He gave me some very, very valuable advice. I was actually like looking at my notes from our meeting like at least like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I forgot he told me this. I was glad I wrote it down. But that was probably one of my favorites because they like the program is really dedicated to getting you into pharmacy school and they want the best for you. So they're going to be honest with you, but also like, they want to understand you as a person. So I remember like on one of the questions, like I said, my leadership style was like assertive or something. And so he asked me like, why did you say your leadership style was assertive? And so I kind of defended myself. He was like, I'm glad you said that. He was like, I think you should choose a better word because he doesn't want me to come across as like bossy, which was like good advice because I didn't think of it that way. So yeah, that was probably one of my favorites, as well as the resume workshop. We had someone come in and like edit all of our resumes and he tore them up. Like he had a red pen, but like he was really nice about it. And he like made us understand why he, marked certain things out. So I think that was also very, very valuable. But the program definitely taught me a lot because I thought I knew how to apply to pharmacy school and I didn't. So I really appreciate it. And we also had a lot of speakers, like how they said they spoke like faculty, alumni, and like we had student guest speakers. We had a lot of speakers, which I didn't even know there were so many different specialties in pharmacy. So that really, really helped. Like we talked like a bone marrow pharmacist. There was like a research-based one. And so there's so many different areas that you have no idea about. Like I remember I shadowed at the NICU pharmacy. So yeah, it's a lot of different areas. And so yeah, but those are probably my favorites though. The one-on-one definitely and the resume workshop.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. So Amber is exactly right. As a part of the program, you get to do a one-on-one with our basically Dean of Student Services and Admissions, Dean Nelson, and he will give you that honest one-on-one feedback, and he will look over your transcript, look over your resume, your CV, and kind of see what recommendations he can make to help you get into the pharmacy school of your choice, whether that's Michigan or not. And that is something that is really cool about the program. We want to help you achieve your goals. And if it's that doesn't end up being the University of Michigan, although we hope it is, we want to help you achieve your goals, whatever those may be. Additionally, the resume and CV workshop that also went over interview skills was one of my favorite workshops as well. I sat in on that one, and students actually get that feedback from a former dean of the University of Michigan College of Pharmacy, Dr. Bruce Mueller. So you will receive that feedback on your CV, resume, and how to be the best you can be during an interview from a former dean of the College of Pharmacy. So we really bring out all the stops for our pharmacy scholar students and really make it worthwhile, because we understand that you're taking a large portion of your summer to come and do this program on our campus. So we want to make sure that we are making it worth your time. All right, so the subjects that we review during the Pharmacy Scholars Program include general chemistry, organic chemistry, biochemistry, basic math. We have added a PharmCast 101 course. Amber Ella is actually going to teach that course. So we're really excited about that. We will have calculations review, general biology, genetics, and pharmacokinetics. So Amber, for you, was there a particular review course that you found to be very helpful?
Um, Definitely the calculations and organic chemistry. Calculations, I do work as a pharmacy tech, but like I don't really do as many calculations. And so that was very, very helpful, especially like going forward. And organic chemistry, because that is everywhere you go. So it's always good to get a refresher. And don't be intimidated by these classes either, because like they're there to help you. And so like if you need like one-on-one help, you can get it. And they give you like resources like websites, worksheets, things like that to help you out. So don't think you're on your own. Like say you didn't do too well in one of these subjects, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna do well at the internship. Like, no, you'll be fine. They will help you out. So yeah.
All right, so now to guest speakers and shadowing. So we've already talked a little bit about this, but to give you a more in-depth view of what we will be going over, we have workshops and speakers talk about interview skills, personalized resume, CV feedback, application, and admissions, of course. We have a student life panel with current pharmacy students from all years. So you'll have a range of rising P2s through P4s. Personal statement and essay writing, we actually call in the writing center on the University of Michigan campus to help you hone your writing skills. We have people come in and talk about their research. We do lots of presentations, like Amber was saying, on the different pharmacy careers with alumni and faculty. So you're getting that firsthand information on what did their pharmacy path look like, how did they get there, what residencies did they do, and they can relay all of their knowledge and their recommendations to you. We do a blood pressure and blood glucose workshop. We do a compounding workshop, and that is both of those are taught by faculty. We also do a Michigan Medicine hospital tour, because students at the College of Pharmacy have the opportunity to intern and work at the University of Michigan Hospital. So we want to make sure people have the opportunity to see that. We do naloxone training with a faculty member. We take a tour of the big house, which I am not necessarily a sports fan really at all. I do not follow football at all, but I will have to say the tour of the big house was really, really cool. And something that I am looking forward to doing again next summer, or this upcoming summer. We do a tour of the FDA site in Detroit, and then our students also have the opportunity to shadow with Veterans Affairs and the Trinity Health System. So again, Amber, I'm going to call on you. What was a highlight of your shadowing?
Highlight of my shadowing was definitely the VA. I shadowed at we shadowed at both, but the VA was my favorite. They just showed us so many things, and like I've never seen a pharmacist in the hospital setting. So for me, that was really exciting because, like I said, I went to the I think that's the one where I went to the NICU, but I can't remember. But we had saw like cancer patients, and we went to like outpatient, inpatient. Yeah, it was just like you saw so many different things, ambulatory care, some people saw, and we all saw different things, but I really loved it. And like the pharmacists there, they really like honed in and wanted to talk to us and like give us advice, and we took pictures with them. So yeah, it was a great time. I would say like too to go back to like the workshops and things, the blood pressure and blood glucose was one of my favorites as well. Because I never did that before, like do blood pressure. And like, it was really fun. We got to try on each other, and we actually got to keep like some of our stuff that we trained with. So like we also did a you'll see like there's a naloxone training. So I still have my Narcan with me. Like I took it back to school with me. So that was really fun. People ask me about it all the time, like when they come to my room, like, why do you have this medicine sitting here? And so it's like a teaching moment. So yeah, that was probably my favorite. But yeah, the shadowing, I would just say take advantage because the pharmacists there, like, they all gave us our emails, their business cards, things like that. And I know like some of my peers that like I did that were in my cohort, like we all reached out to each other. Sometimes they're like, do you have this person's email? Or like, do you remember this person? You kind of keep what's called like a PDF of all the people that they come and speak to you with. But when you go to a shadow, it's best like you network and get that on your own as well. But definitely fun, and the big house is really fun. I'm a Michigan native, but I've never like spent time in Ann Arbor, so this is my first time having a summer in Ann Arbor, and I absolutely loved it. And yeah, Michigan had just won the national championship too, so it was kind of like a good like moment, like, oh, this is where they're playing at. And like actually one of my childhood friends, like he plays for the football team, so it was kind of cool to kind of go and like see it in person for myself. And we took a lot of pictures.
Mhm. Yes. So on this slide, I have a picture of my supervisor. She's an assistant dean, and that is Dr. Regina McClinton. So you will meet her during the summer if you are a pharmacy scholar. But before I was around and before she hired me, she used to run the program. And so this was a picture of her with one of the earlier cohorts of pharmacy scholars. So now to talk a little bit about the College of Pharmacy at the University of Michigan itself. So we are the first pharmacy school in the United States, established way back in 1868. We are also a smaller size for a college on the University of Michigan campus. So we have a 4-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So we're pretty close knit. In addition to the PharmD program, we also offer PhDs in clinical pharmacy, medicinal chemistry, and pharmaceutical sciences. And last year, I did have a couple of students who were interested in research. So I was able to bring in a student who was not in the PharmD program, but who was getting her PhD in medicinal chemistry. And she was able to talk to the students a little bit about what she did, which was nice because the reaction for a lot of the students was like, okay, that's not for me. Like, thank you. That's great for you, but maybe not for me. But it's nice just to have the option to know for sure, to have someone come in and talk about their day to day and then be able to decide, not really my thing, or, ooh, I want to know more about that. We also have a new building under construction, which is super exciting because we currently have, I mean, probably the oldest building on campus, but we have a nice brand new building underway. So we're going to talk about that on the next slide. So our move-in date is actually July of 2025, which is really exciting. So unfortunately, pharmacy scholars will not be able to have classes in the new building, but I'm going to try everything I can do to make sure that we can take a tour of the new building so students can at least see what they have to look forward to if they do end up coming to the University of Michigan, whether that's as a student or a fellow someday, or even a faculty member. We'll get to that sneak peek at the new building. So it is a larger, more modern space than what we currently have with active learning style classrooms, brand new labs. We have different kinds of support spaces that are being built, faculty and admin offices, of course, and then some really nice student focused areas that I'm really excited about. So in all, it will consist of 22 labs, 10 community spaces, 11 huddle and study spaces, 9 research pods, 5 classrooms, 1 student lounge, and a 24/7 market, which I am also really excited about. But anytime you want to, you can go and click on this link. So if you actually just were to Google search like University of Michigan College of Pharmacy new building, you could go, it would take you directly to the page and you can see the building being built in real time, which is kind of cool. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second and see if I can. Perfect. Try to share my screen again. Okay. Can we see that I'm on the web page? Okay. Perfect. So we go to live webcam and there it is in all its glory. There is our new building. So really looking forward to being able to move into that building and hopefully be able to take a tour this summer. We shall see. I have high hopes. All right. So now to talk a little bit about Ann Arbor. So like Amber said, Ann Arbor is located in Michigan. We're in southern Michigan. We're about 30 to 45 minutes away from Detroit, depending on what part of Detroit you're trying to get to, and of course, depending on traffic. But Ann Arbor consistently ranks one of the best college towns in America. It's home to 158 parks and over 1.4 million trees. So Ann Arbor is really beautiful. There is a lot of green space. There is actually an arboretum, which is basically just like a small park located like right across the street from the dorms that our pharmacy scholar students stay in, which is really great if you're an outdoorsy student. Not so great maybe if you're not an outdoorsy student. I will say one of the activities that we did last summer that I plan to repeat is we do make a group trip to the Arboretum to get some time outdoors. And I did not have a very outdoorsy bunch last summer. We'll see what happens this upcoming summer. But I will say we went for just a very light hike. It was more like a walk through the Arboretum, and it is really beautiful. And the weather in Michigan during the summer is very beautiful and usually very mild. So that is a plus. We are also home, of course, to the largest stadium in the country, which is the Big House, and we get to tour that stadium. We're also a great destination for book, music, art, food, and film lovers. Ann Arbor loves a festival. There is always something going on. So there's actually a festival called Summer Festival, and last year that was from like mid to the end of June. And there was music happening on the University of Michigan campus within walking distance from the dormitories, within walking distance from the College of Pharmacy. There was movies on the lawn. And so that's a really nice perk of being on campus during that time, is that students have things to do in the evenings when we don't have programming planned for them. I will also say, because we've added another week to the program, Ann Arbor has a giant art fair that happens at the end of July, mid to the end of July. And I thought, people kept telling me how big it was going to be. I thought that was an exaggeration. It was not. People come from all over the country for this art fair, and that'll be July 17th through the 19th. So our students will kind of get to see the beginning of that, which is really exciting. But just while these other festivals don't coincide with our program, it is worth noting that Ann Arbor is also home to the Ann Arbor Film Festival, which takes place in March. That is a precursor for the Sundance Film Festival, if anybody here happens to be interested in film. And then again, our music festivals happen all year long. For example, here in a couple weeks, we'll have the Ann Arbor Folk Festival. So just a really fun place to be. Lots of interesting cultures because of the university, and always an opportunity to learn something new. Amber, did you have a favorite part of campus or of like the city of Ann Arbor?
Um, State Street.
State Street.
So State Street is like it's on the campus, but kind of like not on the campus. But it's really long. It's like a long block, and there's just so many stores. Like there's so many stores. There's the movies, and you even pass like to get to State Street, you have to pass like where the festival is that
Mhm.
Megan had talked about. Actually, me and some of like people from my cohort, we actually went to some things. It was a lot of kids, but it was kind of fun. But yeah, I really like State Street because it's just so many food options, and like there's
Mhm.
also like parks and stuff. And I was actually just in Ann Arbor like a month ago, and I was home, and I went to like a art place, like a like pour the paint on the bear, and they also had like where you can make your own rug. So like that was something I didn't know about in the summer, but one of my friends goes to University of Michigan kind of told me about that. So I will also suggest that. And it's literally like I could see the College of Pharmacy from the art place I was at. I was like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I was getting flashbacks. But yeah, there's so many places to eat. If you haven't tried them, like places that are like kind of just in Michigan, I guess you could say. And so, yeah, I really like State Street, and the movie theater was pretty nice over there.
Mhm.
And they also have like MDiv, so that's like where you can shop for like University of Michigan gear. And so, me and some of my coworkers, like we went there, bought a few items, but it's just really fun in the summer. There's a lot of people and ice cream shops everywhere.
I knew you were
um,
gonna say something about that.
Oh yeah, of course. There's a bunch of ice cream shops and yeah, so I really liked Ann Arbor though because I'm from Detroit, so it's kind of like a little bit more busy. Ann Arbor is really like laid back and relaxed, depending on where you are, but it's just a nice like place to just kind of like chill, relax, catch some fresh air. The campus is beautiful. There's so many places to sit. Like you said, we did go on the hike. I'm not the most outdoorsy person, but like I could push through things. So like I did it. I had a good time actually. Some people did not like the outdoors, but everybody tried it. So that's all that
Mhm.
matters. And we had a good time. And I actually there's a place called Pliables that I went to afterwards. It's not too far. That was my first time going, and they aren't in every state. So I would also suggest going to Pliables because it's really great.
Yes, I will say the current College of Pharmacy students also love Flyables, but that's right around the corner from us. It's like a smoothie bowl place. But thank you so much. Yes, there are lots of things to do right around campus within walking distance. I will say the University of Michigan also has its own bus line, which is really nice. So you could, if you didn't want to walk to a different corner of campus, although it is very walkable, you could always take the bus. And all of the pharmacy scholar students have access to the bus. The Ann Arbor City bus is also really good. We have good public transportation here. Um, but lots to do right within walking distance of campus. Like Amber said, there's basically a movie theater right on campus that has discounted tickets, and there's free museums on campus, an art museum, a natural history museum. I also took the students to a planetarium because the University of Michigan has a really old, rare, unique telescope. And so on nights where it's clear, they invite people to come view the night sky through that telescope at the observatory. So I took the students to do that. So there's lots of opportunities to try new things, experience new things, even outside of the realm of pharmacy. And then I have some PSK 2025 memories. So when Amber said she took pictures with the people at the BA, she thought she was serious. I have her up here front and center with another PSP student, Camila. And they took pictures with the people that they got to work with at the VA that day. I had kind of an adventurous group of students. So a group of students took a bus to a Tigers game, which is the Detroit's baseball team. They got to go to that, and I think they caught several fly balls while they were there, which was really impressive. We have a picture from our trip to the FDA, a couple of pictures from our big house tour, and then we also do a weekend excursion to Detroit. So I kind of gave the students the ability to choose what we did when we went to Detroit, and they chose to well, I decided we were all going to the Riverwalk because the Riverwalk is really beautiful. You can see Canada from across one of the Great Lakes. And it was a sunny, beautiful day for us to do that. So we went to the Riverwalk, and then students got to choose what they wanted to do. And my students told me they wanted to go to the Detroit Zoo and the Somerset Mall. So that is what we did. But there are so many museums in Detroit, lots of interesting things to do. And so I'm looking forward to working with our pharmacy scholars in 2025 to figure out what that weekend trip to Detroit is going to look like. And I will also say, I wanted to get a picture of this, but again, there's lots of parks in Ann Arbor. It's really beautiful. A group of our students went kayaking at one of the parks. I know they took pictures. I am trying to get them to send them to me, so hopefully we can update this slide, but just all kinds of things to do. I know a group of students went to a water park during some of their free time. So lots of good things to do around Ann Arbor. All right, so back to the more serious stuff. Let's talk about the application requirements. So all of this information is on our website. When you go to the Pharmacy Scholars page, on the left-hand side of the page, there's a series of tabs, and one of those says application. So these requirements are listed on that web page. But we do expect students to, of course, include their education history. And so we want to know, have you taken chemistry, biology, organic chemistry, English and calculus, what grades did you make in those classes? When did you take them? We, of course, need a copy of your transcript. Unofficial is fine, but an electronic copy of that is best. We require your students write essays. And I know 3 essays might sound like a lot, but I promise you these are really pretty short, straightforward essays. And of course, if you ever have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm going to go ahead and put my email in the chat right now, but I am happy to answer questions at any point. I do recommend, just as a general rule of thumb, when anybody writes anything, have somebody proofread for you, whether that is a family member or a friend or one of your professors. Just go ahead and have them proofread that essay for you. But this is really just an important chance for us to get to know you and your personality, because we do not have an interview process. So this is really how we're going to be able to get to know you through your application. And we want a copy of your resume or CV. We want to hear about your extracurricular activities. And of course, we need those letters of recommendation. And again, if anybody has any questions about that at any time, please feel free. Amber, do you have any recommendations about the application process? Any tips or anything that you wish you would have done differently?
Well, Megan knows, but it took me a while to finish my application once I started it. So I would just say stay on top of your application. Just try. Please try to. But I would just say just take your time with it. Like I said, although like I said, don't take too long, but no, just take your time with it. Like show them who you are. Don't be intimidated by the questions that are on there. Just it's just so they can get to know you, you know. So that's one thing I would just say. Also, like she said, have someone proofread your application. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The application is really straightforward. It doesn't take too long. So yeah, just put your best foot forward. And that's all you can do. And they do read your application, so they read it very thoroughly. So just make
Yes.
sure like you remember what you write and that everything is honest as well
Mhm.
because they thoroughly go through it. And there's
Yes, that
multiple
is.
people that read it as well. It's not just one person. There's multiple people
Yes,
that read
it's
your
not just me. It is my supervisor who is an assistant dean. It is assistant dean, student services and admissions, Dean Nelson, and a few other people. Our dean of student life, Dean Bostwick. And so these are all people that if you come here, you will meet in real life. And so yes, you do want to make sure that you're being honest on there and that you can speak to any of the stuff that you include because it will come
Yes,
up in conversation.
they
Go ahead.
remember what you write because I remember like we had like it was like a session. I think we were meeting with the dean again. Like we met with them a couple of times. Like there was different people, and so I had said something about like one of my experiences. They were like, "Oh, you're this person," and they're like, "You go to Fisk," and I was like, "Yeah, I do. That's me." So they will know you. If you say one thing, like they'll remember your application. So yeah, it's really good to kind of remember that and be honest.
Yes, and I will say, I am happy to be in communication with you as you work through those applications. So Amber kind of laughed at the beginning. I was like, Megan knows it took me a while. Well, Amber and I were in constant communication while she was filling out her application. And at any point, if you have questions, I really do encourage you to reach out. Actually, one of our students last summer, her name is Camille, and she straight up emailed me and asked, she said, "Can I just call you?" And I was like, "Of course, please, anytime." So I am happy to talk over the phone. At the end, I'm going to include a link to my Calendly. So if you wanted to set up a one-on-one Zoom meeting, we can definitely do that. But I'm really here to help. And I love this program. And I think it's such a great resource and opportunity for students. So I really want to make sure that anybody who wants to be here has the best shot at being able to do so. All right, at this point, I'm going to do a call for questions. Does anybody have any questions? I do see, can we apply for this program if we are a freshman? Okay, no, unfortunately, you cannot. So that is, this program is really designed, well, I'm going to say probably not. So this program is really designed for people who are rising juniors or seniors or recent graduates or who have finished their undergraduate education and are looking to do a career change. So, for example, if we have some people in the pharmacy program who already have masters. So if you, I guess, had a master's and you were like, I think I want to go to pharmacy school now, then this program could potentially be good as well. But sophomores who have taken chemistry potentially. So I would recommend our eligibility requirements are on our website. That's another tab on the side in addition to application. So if you have taken the required courses before the pharmacy program, before the pharmacy scholars program starts, then you're good to go. So if you've taken the required semesters of biology, chemistry, organic chemistry, you would be able to apply. So that's really usually why we say that freshmen are able to apply, because they just haven't taken enough semesters of biology, enough semesters of chemistry, enough semester, ever potentially never have taken organic chem. If you have taken, like, for example, everything but organic chem, or like you've only done one semester of organic chemistry, I would say reach out to me, email me, let's talk about it, maybe one-on-one. We did have a student last summer who had not taken organic chemistry. She still had a great time in the program, but I think, we always, it's kind of a little bit of a risk. We don't want to discourage anybody or make them think, that pharmacy school is going to be too hard for them, because it would be a very condensed short amount of time to learn organic chemistry. And our class is really geared towards not teaching organic chemistry for the first time, for example, but to be a review. So there are just some things to keep in mind. So if you were just missing like one semester of something, we could talk. But if you're missing more than one semester of a required course, I'm going to say no, go ahead and wait to apply to the Pharmacy Scholars Program. Are there any additional questions? So they're really good questions so far. Okay, can you explain more about the non-academic qualification of the program? Yes, so to some degree, this is a needs-based program. And so in one of the essay requirements is kind of writing about that. So have you faced academic hurdles or academic challenges, or do you have financial need? And that is kind of one of the components, but it can really look like a lot of different things. So I would say, don't let that be a hurdle for you applying to the program, because everybody has a different story. And like I said, if you want to be here, we are going to do everything we can to support you and make sure people who want to be here are able to come. So I would say, we do have that component in the back of our mind that there is kind of a needs-based element to this program, but again, that can look like a lot of different things for different people. So I'm not going to put strict parameters on that, because we don't have strict parameters for that. We understand that everybody's journey is different. Great question so far. Are there any other questions? I'm going to copy the link to my Calendly. Oops. Uh-oh, what happened? Just one blank. All right. Well, I'm going to copy the link to my Calendly and make sure everybody has that. So if you did want to talk more in depth about any of the components on the application or about the program, please feel free to make an appointment. Please feel free to email me again anytime. And I will copy some of this. I'm just going to copy all of this actually. Put this in the chat. And so this is how to kind of stay in touch. This is our website and our email address, although again, feel free to email me directly, and then our Instagram, but please stay in touch. Does anybody have any more questions for me or for Amber, for that matter? All right. Well, if nobody has any more questions, then I'm going to thank everybody for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Again, I know it's the beginning of the semester, it's a busy time, so really appreciate you all being here. And happy Founders Day. That's so nice.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's actually really funny too. One of the guest speakers, she was an AKA, and I did not know. I just happened to have on like a sweatshirt one day, and she told me ski weed, and I was like, "Oh hey," and that was really funny. So you will meet people everywhere you go. So I would just say, really take advantage of the program, academically and like personally. Like I said, I never had been to Ann Arbor before, so just like my first time really being there. Like I've been a Michigan native my whole life, so I just like take advantage. The people there, they really want to help you. That they give you your business cards for a reason, and like when you set up a meeting, like people will meet with you. I remember like one person that was in our cohort, she was very like she really loved ambulatory care, and like she was not leaving until she shadowed ambulatory care, and she did. She actually got like a few opportunities, and so like we have to take those opportunities. So I would just say, just take advantage of the program in all its capacities. You have access to so many things. There's so many good resources there, so just use them.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. All right, everybody. Oh, go ahead, Amber. Were
Oh,
you
I
gonna
was
say
also
something?
gonna say too, yeah, like with taking advantage of like make sure you get to know the people that you're around for the few weeks. I feel like at first for us, like we almost really shy, but then like eventually like we started to learn each other without even like kind of knowing. So it's kind of funny. But like I still talk to a lot of them, and some of them actually like got into pharmacy school or started
Mhm.
pharmacy school. So it's like really surreal to like see like all of our dreams come true. Because like just a couple months ago we were all like wanting to apply and wanting to go, and so it's really fun. Like we all still talk a lot, like especially on Instagram. I still talk to all of them. So yeah, just get to know your peers as well. They're always gonna be there for you. And I might end up going to the same school. You never know.
Yeah.
So
And you're gonna be colleagues someday, right? And that person could
right.
help you get a job someday or be a reference or letter of recommendation. So it is really a good way
Yeah.
to build your network, make connections, and learn a lot, and even just practice your social skills or your networking skills, right? It can be hard to get networking experience, and this is a really great way to do that. I think we had a lot of students say, this program really helped me with my confidence. It helped me with my professionalism. I feel more prepared, so that way, no matter where you go or what you do, we try to teach you some lessons that you can take with you that are really applicable in a variety of different ways. So that's definitely true. And it makes me really happy that you all keep in touch because we had such a good group. We had a really good time. I hosted a game night for one of our activities, and I swear I've never seen a more competitive game of Uno in my life. It was so intense. So we had a good group. We had some good times, and so we're really hoping to repeat those good vibes this upcoming summer. Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
everybody. Oh, were you gonna say
Okay.
something?
Yeah, that's my last thing. I promise. I promise. But
Oh, please.
I don't know. We didn't really touch on like what day to day looks like. So I think that would be a good question to answer. Every day is different. Yeah, every day is different. So like, I wouldn't say come in with expectations. Just kind of vibe. Some days are gonna be long, like 8 to 5, 8 to 6. It's okay. But some days are also very short. And so just take advantage because all of us, like we said, like we had 4 weeks and we watched. It was like 8. So so the new cohort, I think they'll have a great time. It's so much fun. So yeah, just take advantage of everything. And yeah, day to day looks different. Some days you have class, you may have like 3 classes. Some days you may only have two. Some days you have like 3 speakers. Some days you only have one. Some days you shadow, you don't have class. Some days it's just different every day. But it's really fun. And like I said, I had a great time. I would do it again for sure if I could. So yeah, just vibe, have a good time and learn.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Amber. I appreciate you for coming in and helping out with this webinar. And I'm hosting another webinar on January 28th at 4 p.m. Eastern. Amber will be there again. We're going to have another PSP alum, Noelia. And then we're also going to have Ella on the call, who was our lead mentor last year, and she's going to be our lead mentor again. So you get a chance to hear from her, and she's going to be teaching the FarmCast 101 course that we added that will be all about the applications process from a FarmCast perspective. So yeah, if you would like to join again, please do so. Please tell your friends, share the sign up link with them to sign up for our webinar on January 28th. But otherwise, of course, if you have any questions, I'll say it one more time, email me, set up a meeting on Calendly. We can do a Zoom on whatever works best for you, but I'm here to help. All right. Bye, everybody.